Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Megan. This is the first video that I've posted since I've changed my name from Drink Wine Be Crafty to Don't Worry Be Crafty. Nothing's changed. The content is still the same. The only thing that has changed is the name, so I hope you guys like the new name, Don't Worry Be Crafty. And today we're going to get into our project. This is going to be a 4th of July craft, and it's going to be 2 parts. Today I'll focus on showing you guys how to do the pine cone flowers, and then I will post the video on how I made the vase. But today we'll just focus on the flowers. And this will look really pretty at night as well. If you put fairy lights in it, it definitely has a pretty lamp effect. I'll list all of the supplies in the description box below. You will need some skewers. I purchased these at Walmart. It came in a pack of, it's a big pack. I'm not sure how many. But I also have found these pruning shears on Amazon. I will share the link to these. This is the best tool that I've found for making pine cone flowers. These things work amazing. And for this project, I'm using acrylic paint, but you can definitely use spray paint. Spray paint is the quicker way, but I had a really hard time finding the right colors that I wanted in spray paint. So I bought these at Walmart. I have true blue, white, and real red. The red is a gloss paint. I actually like the contrast of the matte and gloss paints together. I think it looks really pretty. I ended up using 17 flowers for my bouquet, so that would be 9 pine cones if you're doing 2 flowers out of each pine cone. One style of flower, you can use the bottom of the pine cone. If you find a pine cone that has a bottom that you can work with, this one does, so we're going to use the bottom of this pine cone for one of the flowers. And now I'll use a pair of tweezers to open this up a bit. I just take a few of these out until I get the look that I'm going for. I mean, it's totally up to you. You can take out as little or as much or none if you would like, just depending on what look you want to have for your flower. But I do take a little bit out. I've also done projects where I use the very top of it for just kind of for filler or little small flowers, so you can just clip off the top of it or the middle piece down a little bit, and then it has a flower effect as well. I did not use any of those in this project. And then I just used the smaller shears to trim away. You don't want it to be too thick, so I just start taking some of the layers out until I get the height of the flower that I want. And then once you get the height, if you have too much in the center, I just kind of hack away at it until I get the size that I want on that as well. I'll also share the other pinecone craft videos that I have. I have several different looks, and yeah, so I'll put those in the description box below if you're interested in any other pinecone crafts. Now we need to move on to painting. I actually decided to do the flowers that were from the bottom of the pine cone. I'm doing those all blue, and then the rest I just do either white or red. And if you do want to use spray paint and you want to keep the center of your pine cone the natural color, just grab a piece of painter's tape and place it in the middle before you spray paint and kind of squeeze it around. Just get that covered up, and then you can use spray paint, and once it dries, just take that off and it'll still have that natural look to it. And as far as the painting process goes, it is very simple, pretty self-explanatory, but I do apply 2 coats on these. So when you apply the first coat of paint, I've had some people mention that their pine cones soak up the paint a little bit. I've not had that problem too much with the acrylic paint, but you can kind of still see the brown, but 2 coats of paint was plenty in my opinion. If you are having trouble with that, you may just have to put on more coats. So now the first coat of paint has dried. This is what they look like with 1 coat of paint. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply 1 more coat to each of these, and then they'll be perfect. Now I'm going to paint the skewers for each of the flowers. I just painted the skewer the color of the flower, and I use this jar because I paint the bottom end or one of the ends, and then I place it in the jar to let it dry. That way I can hold on to the end that I've painted once it's dry to paint the rest of the skewer. Putting the skewers on, I did 8 of them where I just pressed the skewers into the bottom of the flower, You can use hot glue if you find it where it won't stay in. You could just put a little hot glue around it, but I didn't have any problems just pushing these in and they stay really well. But I did do 9 where I'm going to use hot glue because I wanted them to sit at a different angle on the skewer. So I'm going to get these poked in. You can actually put a paper towel or something in a piece of cloth in your hand while you're pressing it in if the pine cones are poking you in the hand, because you do have to put a pretty good bit of pressure. And for the other 9, I'm going to hot glue the flowers to the side of the very top of the skewer. So you're going to put some hot glue on the flower, and then you'll have to hold the skewer in place until the hot glue dries. And I also put hot glue on top of the skewers for most of them because they really didn't want to stay very easily, so I wanted to make sure there was plenty of hot glue. But once you have the glue dried, then they are good to go. They're definitely very stable. And this is the last step of getting your flowers ready to go in the vase. So once you have all of your skewers on your flowers, then you will just arrange your flowers. Now for these that I'm putting the stick on this way, those are the ones that will go on the outside. So I place those in first. And then the flowers that I just push the skewers into them, those I put in second to kind of create the top portion of the bouquet. So I hope you guys like this project. If you are interested in knowing how I made the vase, I will be posting that video. If not today, I'll post that video tomorrow, so it'll be out really soon.